In this video, I will be teaching you the bracket, which is one of the most easiest and most effective air combat tactics available to a squad in War Thunder. I will first go over the basic theory of the bracket, followed by a breakdown of a real match in which the tactic is applied. The bracket is an offensive air combat tactic designed to maximize the number of opportunities to attack a bandit while simultaneously reducing the bandit's ability to retaliate. This is achieved by forcing the bandit to split his attention and efforts between our element, thereby forcing him into a disadvantageous position. For the purposes of this video, I will only be covering a 2 versus 1 scenario. It should be noted that all the fundamental principles that I'm about to explain can easily be applied to a many versus many scenario, but I will cover those scenarios another time. To effectively employ the bracket, our element ideally should be approaching the bandit head-on in a line abreast or combat spread formation. However, in a real situation, it is often very rare to approach an enemy being perfectly equidistant. So as a rule of thumb, you can easily employ the bracket so long as you and your wingmen are approximately within 600 meters of each other and are facing the bandit together. The first part of the bracket is to split our element by maneuvering in opposite directions. This forces the bandit to make a decision. He must now decide to engage one of the two targets presented to him. This in turn now applies pressure to his attention, as he now has to track two independent moving targets. Once the bandit makes a decision and shows his hand by maneuvering to the target he has chosen, the second part of the bracket unfolds as follows. The fighter which is engaged turns into the enemy attack and merges with him. This allows his wingman to maneuver in behind the bandit. From this point on, the bandit will be completely defensive, and successive maneuvers can be executed by our element to press the advantage created. Now let's see it applied in a real situation. In this clip, I am leading an element with Pappy as my wingman. We are flying Mach 24 Spitfires in a slightly up-tiered match. Now, as the element leader, your job is very similar to that of a quarterback or point guard in football or basketball, respectively. This means that as element leader, your primary concern is to provide focus and direction to set the play in motion. You are not there to micromanage. In this clip, you can see that we have managed to pick out an isolated opponent far away from any support, allowing us to effectively engage with a numerical advantage. As element leader, I call the play by very simply telling my wingman which side we should split to make our approach in order to bracket the enemy. Up F80, 12 o'clock level.
Maybe the bike's still alive.
Okay, he's coming right at us. Go a little bit to the left, I'll go right. See who he goes for. Okay, he's going for me. I'm turning in.
Merging.
Okay, nice. Perfect. Now let's look at it from another angle. Here is the replay of the match in tactical view. As you can see, we are approaching the bandit in an echelon formation, which is still a completely valid formation to be in. In fact, by having one fighter slightly in front, this will often force the bandit to engage the lead fighter as the distance is closer and the closure rate is much faster. It was slightly better for us to execute this play as Pappy is the more inexperienced pilot in the squadron, which meant it was better for me to be the one to initiate the merge. One thing to note about the bracket is the initial merge is often interpreted by many inexperienced pilots to be a head-on attack. Never ever full commit to a head-on when you have a numerical advantage with no other pressing circumstances. You may take snapshots if the distance is far enough and the closure rate is slower, but only do so if you are experienced enough to reliably evade returning fire. Nice. Perfect. At this point, a common mistake is for the lead fighter to join in the attack against the bandit. This is usually a mistake, as it is bad practice to have multiple fighters engage a bandit simultaneously. Instead, what you should do is just stay close enough to provide cover for the fighter that is engaging the bandit. In this case here, you can see me hanging back just far enough to be able to attack the bandit, whilst giving room to my wingman to engage. But more importantly, this distance allows me to reassess the bigger picture and spot for new threats.
Just hit something.
Okay, we got another F80, 3 clicks and closing from the north.
Should I break it up? I'll break on. Ooh,
Yeah,
I got a crit.
you got a hit? You good. Okay, he's closing in on you now. He's below, he's climbing up. I'm on him. He's firing. Shoot.
Evasive maneuvers.
Crit.
Did you get him?
Severe, he's going down.
Okay.
Ah,
Climb
beautiful.
again.
And thus concludes this tactics video. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. See you next time.